You know that feeling, right? Juggling a dozen different passwords, verifying who you are over and over and over again? Well, what if there was a better way? Today, we're going to break down a blueprint for a whole new kind of digital identity called UIID, one that aims to solve this exact problem. So let's just start with a problem that is a daily headache for pretty much all of us. Our digital lives are this tangled, chaotic mess of logins and passwords. It's a world away from the simple, unified identity we have in the real world. I mean, think about it. In your wallet, you probably have one driver's license, one main physical ID. It's simple. But online? Oh man, it's a completely different story. You're juggling dozens of logins, your personal data is scattered across who knows how many services, and you're constantly having to prove you are who you say you are. And look, this isn't just about us being annoyed. For governments and big institutions, this digital disconnect creates massive, and I mean massive, expensive problems. The hidden costs are piling up, and they're a lot bigger than you might think. The system we have now, it's basically running on fumes. We're talking about ballooning administrative costs, a huge and growing risk of identity fraud, and the crazy expense of maintaining these ancient IT systems, what the source material calls old systema. And all of that is made worse by old-school manual data entry and this confusing web of different ID numbers for your taxes, your passport, and everything else. So, the big question is, how do we fix this mess? Well, the proposed solution is a concept called UIID, and you can really think of it as a master key for your entire digital life, a way to finally bring some order to all this chaos. So what is it, really? At its heart, UID is designed to be a single, super secure digital ID that's directly and verifiably linked to you, the actual physical person. And you see two key words there that are absolutely crucial: decentralized and privacy first. We're going to see why those matter so much in just a moment. And here's probably the best way to get your head around this. This is not just another online account you have to create. No way. The proposal frames it as a single, state-recognized digital passport that you can use for any and all official interactions online.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does this actually mean for our daily lives? If a system like this was really in place, how would it completely change the things we have to do every single day?
Let's take an example, like applying for a business license. You know the drill, right? It's this slow, paper-based marathon. You're filling out stacks of forms, you're gathering physical documents and mailing them in, and then you just wait for weeks while someone manually checks everything before you finally get that approval letter in the mail. Now, with UID, that exact same process could become secure, digital, and pretty much instantaneous. You log in with your verified identity, you sign the application with a secure cryptographic signature, and boom, you get an automated approval right away. All that friction, just gone. And this kind of efficiency, it just ripples out into other really critical areas. It could make sure that social welfare payments actually go to the right people, which would prevent the kind of fraud that costs taxpayers a fortune. It could also help modernize old government tech by acting as a new layer on top, so you avoid a complete, ridiculously expensive overhaul. The bottom line is a drastic reduction in costs.
Okay. A system this powerful, this unified, it naturally brings up a huge and very important question. What about your privacy? What about data security? How do you give a government a tool this powerful without it becoming a tool for surveillance?
Well, the design actually addresses this head-on. Instead of creating one giant government database, what the source calls a honeypot for hackers, the UID approach is decentralized. This means your data is stored with you, on your devices. It gets rid of that single point of failure and the terrifying risk of a massive data breach. And the way they'd pull that off is with this really clever two-part system. You'd have one single, verified core ID. That's for the official stuff: banking, taxes, maybe even voting. But for everything else, social media, online shopping, you could create multiple anonymous sub-IDs. It's an architecture that's really designed to balance security for the state with privacy for you. And this brings us to one of the most powerful privacy features. Think about this for a second. How can you prove a single fact about yourself, like that you're over 18 to get on a website, without handing over your name, your address, and your exact birth date? The answer is some pretty cool cryptography called a zero-knowledge proof. Now, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually simple. It lets you prove that a claim is true without revealing any of the underlying data. You can prove you're old enough without ever telling them how old you are. It's verification without exposure. But you know, the implications of this kind of tech go way beyond just personal convenience and privacy. According to this blueprint, a system like UIID could fundamentally reshape our economy and maybe even how we participate in democracy itself.
So on the economic side, just think about small and medium-sized businesses. Right now, they often get crushed by the high costs of securely verifying and onboarding new users. By providing a free, secure verification layer for everyone, UID could dramatically lower that barrier to entry and help them actually compete with the tech giants.
A system like this also creates the backbone for all kinds of future innovations. It could be the identity framework you need for something like a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. It could finally make secure online voting a reality where one person, one vote is cryptographically guaranteed. And it could give us better public policy through real-time but still anonymized census data.
When you boil it all down, the entire proposal really rests on this one core idea: verification for the state, anonymity for the citizen. It's all about solving this digital dilemma by providing verification where it's legally required for security and anonymity where it's a fundamental right for freedom.
So, this blueprint, it offers a really comprehensive vision for a digital world that's more secure, more efficient, and more private. It presents a potential path forward to fix a system that, let's be honest, almost everyone agrees is broken. And the final question it leaves us with is, are we ready for it?